Sorry everybody about the first video. I think I accidentally hit the slow motion on it somehow. But I'm going to show you 4 of my artifacts every day if I can. And this is pretty much going to rewrite everything. Now this here was the very first piece I picked up and have always kept. Everything I have, all this stuff, it's been covered with other materials to make look just like other rocks. And for some reason I've always been able to see right through everything. When I first started scrubbing on this, it started out more as like a brick almost. Get it just right there. You can start to see an eagle coming out, but then that eagle, turn it this way, will transform into a dragon. Everything you start cleaning, dragons will come out first, then it will, well, the stuff they really wanted hidden is what they really covered up the best. The last things that always show up will be their writing, which is some type of, well, I guess I should start out. All these come from, this is the Phoenicians and the Israelites and some Greeks. Aramaic and early Greek is all taken from Phoenician. These three came together and escaped, got away from Rome. And sorry Rome, it's not the people, but I have always had a fucking hatred towards you. It's none of my family that's ever told me any of this. It's others. I don't even want to say it right now, but I've always been told never read into Christianity or any Native American literature, because it's pretty much all propaganda, lies, and bullshit. Just like Hannibal. Hamilcar Barca's son. Hannibal Barca, the one who took elephants over the Alps and invaded Rome. I do not for 1 second believe he was there when Carthage fell and Rome leveled it. I believed he was already here in America. And these people started coming before the first collapse of the first temple. And before the second, every major holy relic has been brought here. Somewhere in South America. I got maps. 7 of them went to the Yucatan, which pretty much started the Olmec. And then the river changed courses. And then they just got bigger. But there were 3 up here. The 3 up here had like the menorah. Down there they had the Ark of the Covenant, and it's up here now. And pretty fucked up. I know where it all is. There's 10 locations altogether here in North America. But this here, a lot of this is all still covered up. The materials they used, I've counted over 40 now. And if you come across anything that if you've seen some type of creature in nature with colors that look deadly, more than likely the rocks are too. There's probably arsenic and anthrax and who knows what else that's in them. On this land, well, this didn't come from there, but I'd picked up rocks my whole life, but this was the first one I had picked up and brought home and kept. I've had it ever since. My very first one was this here, given to me when I was 6 or 7, and it freaked it, and it's not even close to being clean yet, and it'll be a long time before I ever even do, because it was put in an envelope and given to me, and when I opened it, there's certain ways you hand pieces off, and when I picked it up and first looked at it, I seen evil. It's not necessarily evil, but this piece here, I can't say, I don't want to say exactly where it was. I will return it one day to the place I picked it up from because it was not my property. But everything transforms into something else if you keep turning. Now there's a face there. Turn it upside down this way. There's a face blowing out smoke. That'll turn into dragons. And up top there, oh, I got the light just a little too bright. It's actually a priest, Israelite priest. Well, I'll go ahead and say it. When I was a kid, me and my parent, the only place we ever went on vacation to was Branson. And on the way back, we always stopped along the interstates on 44 to pick up rocks for fountains. This was my very first piece I picked up, and one day it will be returned there. To me, this is not about money at all. This is about history and truth. But this still has a long ways to go. I can see everything in it, but I know you guys can't. I mean, you can start to see a pentagram there, but I don't have it uncovered enough where that pentagram turns into many stars of David. And it's kind of funny, on top of everything, before you even start uncovering the way they covered these, it's in swastikas. That's why I always drew swastikas all over everything. Not because I was a fucking Nazi. I drew the swastikas with the fucking Stars of David too. But I consider this my very first piece because I found it myself. Now this here came from my farm. This is one of the 10 locations. And whoever's watching this, if you're smart, I beg of you, please stay the fuck away. If I find people down there that haven't been invited, bad things will happen. I am afraid to kill to protect what is here. I ain't gonna let people loot and rob this. Like I said, none of this means anything to me about monetary value. This is about rewriting truth. This is about correcting Rome. But right here, if I get it just right, the Star of David starts to come out right there. And it's not just one, it's one after another and after another. They keep getting bigger and bigger and bigger. But then turn this upside down. Well, everything requires the right lighting, and oil helps a little. You can start to see an elephant come out right there. but this will actually turn into another dragon. You just can't see it very good right now. But right there, that eagle, well, some people call it a phoenix, on the bottom there, that was on a flag that flew from north of the Rio, south of the Great Lakes, and coast to coast. This country used to be ran by these 10. And like I say, they were a mix of Greeks, Phoenicians, and one certain Israelite sect. I'm sure you guys will figure out pretty quick. And the Star of David was not invented in Israel. It was created here. But there is still a lot of material covering, like right there, and then where their star is. Then on the back here, it's still covered up a lot. Because there's going to be 2 big lines right there. And then you can, well, there's going to be a Star of David right there in the very middle of it. But it's a mixture of Aramaic, Phoenician, and early Greek. I think they created their own when they came here. And it is on every one. And you can start to see a bird transform out of that too. And then you'll see pyramids also, and it'll have the evil eye just like on the dollar bill on the very top. And that'll also turn into a priest right there. You can start to see his beard come down. And that's his hat. This is one I really like this piece, but it's kind of a sad piece. And this light is too bright. Yeah, and everything orange on this, it's still the material covering all this up. This thing will be crystal clear by the time it is cleaned all the way. And the stuff they used, it distorts the images. So, for some reason I can see through it, but others can't. I was always told never to speak of this stuff until I was older. And if I would have, I'd been in the insane asylum. Because I just figured out about a year ago, all this stuff is actually carved underneath all this material they covered it up in. This is literally the biggest cover-up in the history of the world. But here's the sad side. Man and woman on their wedding day. And like I said, they're all that orange. That's the material, and it distorts. The images are actually a lot more well done than what you can even imagine. But woman's on the right, man's on the left. You can see her breast right there when the thumb's pointing. And well, you won't really be able to see this dark spot here. It's actually her laying on her deathbed after she had died. And you can't, I doubt you'll be able to see him in it, but he's actually leaned over her, kissing her, saying farewell. But like I say, still a lot of material, and if you can't notice that in the very middle of it, that does turn into, it goes from swastikas to a pentagram, then to finally Stars of David's. But there's a few different elephant images on this. Few images of a priest, like right there with the beard. And out of the light, you'll be able to see other things too. Which, it's been a while since I held this one. Let's see, which way is it? I forget, but kind of see actually the real material, the real rock that's carved right there. And then right there, it's still covered up. But there's another Star of David right there. And yeah, if you didn't notice on this one, this guy's Caucasian. This is a big long white beard here. But like I say, everything transforms into something else. Yeah, right there you can kind of see the Star of David starting to come out, the small one. But his nose transforms into a horse, into dragons, into elephants. But it's kind of funny. My niece, she loves unicorns, and that was the last thing I ever expected to see. I doubt I can't get it right, and it's still covered up so much right there, but this will actually turn into a unicorn too. Like I said, this side, there's a lot of material here still covering stuff up. You can kind of start to, I mean, the main image coming down will be a priest. You can kind of see his beard. Yeah, this light just ain't quite right. And then there it'll turn into an elephant. I've seen griffins, I've seen all kinds of things from things you heard of in like Greek mythology and but I'll try to post a few pieces every day, and anything with the writing on will be covered up temporarily. And not that I want to keep anything hidden, but I can't read it. I can only read images and understand the stories that way. I don't want people knowing the locations. They have to figure them out themselves. I ain't gonna tell anybody them. I know where all 9R, I know where all the major, I know where the Ark is, I know where the real first golden menorah is. I know where all of the it's all here in North America. There's so much on this disc, I can't even. And like I said, I was about 5 or 10 minutes late getting out today to video it, because you need the last 5-10 minutes of sunlight before it completely sets. By the time I started filming, the sun had already completely set. But there's a kind of a demon right there. There's demons all over this. There's a big old wizard on the back of this that looks just like Gandalf from Lord of the Rings. Things with elongated skulls. Just all kinds of every type of animal you can think of. I mean, there's 1,000 images on this easy. There's one of the priests right there. See his nose and mouth and beard going down. But it is still covered up so much, it's still hard to, until I have it out in the sunlight like that, it's really hard to see. Like I said, all these pieces covered up to make look just like an ordinary rock. All this shit is hidden right in front of you, right in front of the entire world. And this stuff is not just in North America. It is everywhere these groups traveled when they fled from the Romans. Like I said, Hannibal didn't die fleeing from Carthage and running off to Turkey and committing suicide. He came straight here and lived life and died here. And this is going to piss a lot of people off when I say this, but Jesus Christ didn't die on the cross. I'm with my Muslim Sunni brothers on this. Except it goes a little further. He came here and lived out his life, the rest of his life. And it's pretty much him, I believe, is why all these people never went back and completely destroyed Rome. So you people that run the library there at the Vatican, I suggest you start opening it right now. Within a week I'm going to have so much information out there, and even if you kill me right now, I've given it to so many other people. It's going to become known, and if you don't do something about it right now, your place is going to collapse. And I'm talking about terrorists blowing it up or anything. I'm talking about people, just everybody abandoning you for the lies you created. You thought you could control Jesus, and but they took him away and got him away from you. You dumbasses didn't know how to sail the Atlantic like the Phoenicians. But I'll post a few more tomorrow, so I got a few million here. Well, good night. I'll be the same.